I'll call the regular council meeting of November 18th to order. Hastings County is situated on treaty land that is rich in indigenous history and home to many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. We honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor? Great. Does anyone have a disclosure of interest? No. Did you have any questions for us tonight?
I just wanted to see if we're on track for Monday's release for the budget review. I didn't see it on the website, so I wasn't sure.
There is actually an amendment to that date and it's on tonight's agenda, so that's a good question. It's going to be delaying it until January. Looks like the 13th. We've got a number of issues that we're trying to catch up, so.
Yeah, give me that for. Thanks.
Thank you. We always appreciate customer questions. And customer, sorry, I'm in the wrong business. That happens. All right, there are no announcements at this time. Although I will acknowledge the great turnout last week for the lighting event and the previous week for the market. Very well attended, very well organized. Thank you. The town is in the process, I believe, this week of getting the street lights up. And I have a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on November 4th be adopted as presented.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor? Motion to that the minutes of the Sterling Festival Theater Board held on April 28th and July 29th be received. I move to that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Anything you want to say about those minutes, Don?
They're around their target, so I'm having trouble thinking back that far, but no, they seem to have a very good agenda for this coming season, so hopefully things go out well. I'm not really certain to say what's happening with that marquee yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been.
I haven't really got direct, but I kind of heard through the grapevine, the internet they need to run it isn't up. I don't know, but nobody's really confirmed to tell me one way or another. I wasn't aware that it wasn't working until I tried a couple of times and it's not. So we have a meeting coming up next week, so I'll maybe bring that up to see what's happening. That's what I feel.
Just for clarification, do you get a financial report? I saw on one of these, the financial report was deferred. And the second one indicated there was one, but are we not supposed to get a copy?
I do get them, but I have already brought this forward. I don't know why they don't just send the minutes of the meeting. They don't, they send the agenda. Okay, but they don't send it, and I said, my understanding is the minutes have to be approved by the board. To be accepted by council. So why don't you just put the minutes of the meeting in, and that gives us all the documents that we were given, it gives us all the reports. Anyways, I don't know whether they don't understand. Or what it is.
I was just wondering if it's not too much of an imposition on if you get a copy of the
Yeah.
financials.
I
if you
can
could
bring, because I'll
bring it in
Yeah.
as the council rep.
Yeah.
I know
Mhm.
I'd be interested in that.
So did I get a motion or a vote on that, Kathy?
No, you didn't.
Okay, all in favor of carried. Item 7.1. This is regarding the question on the ballot. The motion is that the report from the clerk entitled "Question on the Ballot 2026 Municipal Election" be received. And further, the council directs staff to begin the process of placing a question on the ballot for the 2026 election by providing a date for public meeting and giving a notice of intention to pass the bylaw. Or the council directs staff to bring forward bylaw to abolish the boards in Sterling Road, or that the matter be referred to the next term of council with no further action be taken at this time. Mover to put that on the floor.
I would be happy to make motion to put that on the floor and that the matter be referred to the next term of council with no action be taken at this time.
I'll second.
You want to speak to that, Kathy, or?
I can. Is this thing on? Yeah. I can if you'd like. I know I was asked to, provide more options as to. About how to put a question on the ballot in the 2026 election, the process for that, which I did detail in my report. I would note that at this time, we're fairly close to the end of the year. There are timelines legislated that we have to meet. If we were just going to, abolish the boards, which I brought that report for, that would be the end of December, that bylaw has to be in place. A question on the ballot, it has to be in place by March. But again, there's timelines for that. There's public engagement. In my opinion, but again, council's decision, I think it's kind of tight at this point to consider options. But again, that's.
It's a valid question, but it appears we've run out of time. We should have started this process earlier.
Yes, your worship, if it had been brought to my attention that council wished to do this maybe in August or September, I think we could have met the timelines.
So the motion is to defer it. No further action. All in favor? Carried. Budget timeline. Motion is that the report from the CAO entitled the 2026 budget timeline amendment be received, and further the date for the preliminary budget meeting to review the 2026 budget Monday, January 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Township Chambers, and that a tentative second meeting date of Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, following the regularly scheduled council meeting, be tentatively scheduled for 11:30 a.m. Move for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Shelley, did you want to speak to that, please?
Yes, thank you, worship. Yes, there are, with the change that we've had in the personnel and not a fulsome personnel in the finance office. We've requested that we delay it. It's not something that we would normally want to do. But we are still anticipating that there will be a budget book that's going to be issued before break at Christmas time. So at least there will be lots of opportunity for council to have a review and to understand what's going to be in it. And then we'll take the day of the 12th and we'll do a fulsome review of all the budgets. And then the second day is in case there's questions or council wants to ask some additional questions or push back on some of the items that are in there. We can have more discussions on the second day. After the second day, maybe the third meeting, or we may have something else that we're presenting to have the budget approved. But that timeline is we're not sure of it just yet, so we just asked for these 2 days to be set aside, and we will send out a notification to council and put it on the public website so that the public is aware if this is approved.
Questions regarding that? I think it's essential we have the correct information rather than try and rush this process. All in favor of those dates? Carried. Correspondence. Excuse me. Lower Trent Conservation Authority, Quinte Conservation Authority, Crow Valley Conservation Authority. Proposal that the correspondence from the Lower LTCA, OCA, CB, CA regarding the Conservation Authority proposal OPCA be received. You have a mover for that, please.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any questions on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Nothing that we're gonna get an actual clear response to that I'm aware of. It's another. It's like the recycle, the same idea. They're coming in with their own plan. And nobody's aware of what's gonna happen until it happens. And you know, by stripping powers from our conservation authorities, like. No conservation authority is the same as, there's one that are the same, they all have different reasons. For different purposes because of the geographic.
Well, they're based on watershed.
Yeah, so how, and they're not even aware of this, these are gonna be NPDs. That they be planted the board or outside people that know leaves from branches or what, so. I don't know how municipalities can. Get together to stop them, but. Like, my concern is what he tried to do in Trump. To rebuild in the housing. Areas, and. I said that they don't know where their water comes from, and one guy says, yeah, look at that. But, you know, that's the problem, is they're not aware. By taking away the powers of our local boards, they're harming our ecosystem before they harm their own. That's my spout. This isn't really a question.
It certainly seems like it was rushed.
Yeah.
How they can fit 7 into 1. And how that gives us any municipal representation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you pointed out, they are all of, you're not putting, it's like, they evaluate, you're not putting like with like, no, they're different services, different authorities. How they're gonna staff it, there's just way too many questions, but at this point, we're just receiving, I believe, is it mid-December, we've got till the comments? I think it's mid-December. There is the authority, I know Lower Trent has put together some points, and Hastings County will be commenting.
Yeah, and I would imagine we have a meeting this week, so we'll only come up during that, but. I can't imagine they're not gonna voice their opinions as well.
We're all in favor of receiving that correspondence? Carried. 8.2. Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks news release. Terra creating, well, that's the same. What's the difference between those two memorandums, do you think?
It's the same item, but this is correspondence from the ministry themselves.
All right. Okay. But the news release comes a consultation notice from MECP regarding the creation of new conservation authority be received.
I'll move.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor? Repeat. That the correspondence from the Lower Trent Conservation Authority regarding the draft budget be received, and move with that, please.
No.
Second.
Any discussion on that? I believe this is Robbie presented at the last meeting. All in favor? Carried. But the correspondence from the QCA regarding the 2026 proposed budget be received.
I'll move.
No second.
Anyone want to speak to on that one, Don?
No. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
All right, all in favor? Carried.
Does it seem like things are getting muddier and not clearer?
Oh, they're getting much muddier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that might be deliberate.
Mm.
Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, MNAH, Bill 60. Not clear. The proposed fighting delays of Building Faster Act 2025. You received.
Second.
You don't speak to each other.
Yeah, again, and I agree, this is getting muddier and there's now new rules that are going to be in place with, that are going to affect planning, development charges, land use, so. This is a summary and they're requesting there's some deadlines that are pretty short turnaround to try and, respond back. And like November 22nd, but I believe that the, there was, information that was on this.
Today's agenda, yeah.
So that was.
There is a summary, but again, it's a lot of changes coming in with very short order. All in favor? think they're removing a lot of the guardrails. Quinny Waste Solutions, that the minutes of the Quinny Waste Solution Board meeting held on August 11th be received. Move with that, please.
Move.
Second.
It's your night, Don, and if you should be the same.
The main thing of that meeting was the fact of our offer, the offers we received for the property. Have been withdrawn. They have detected, benzene, I think it is, in the groundwater.
Would be surprising.
But they also. It's in the groundwater, it's not as a result of our building, so it could be coming from anywhere. Young Matt was at that meeting, I think it was September meeting, he was at it with me. And he had questions, like, he's a walking book of knowledge sitting on that. But he understood exactly what they were talking about, and he posed a question. Have you tested elsewhere around the property? And they couldn't give him an answer, and I don't know whether they understood what he was asking, because he said, well,
That's a very soluble one that will travel a long way.
yeah. So, but he said the extent of it, or the severity of strength of whatever this benzene is, it's nothing that is a health problem. But it's something that may deter a potential buyer purchasing the property. And that's what they're trying to, they had planned to do some testing areas. To find out how actual strong it was and there. But, so basically the property's back in the board's hands, even though the board now no longer exists. And other than that, there was nothing even in the September meeting that changed that, so.
So we're just waiting for results to.
Yeah, we're waiting for that result, and then I think we can move forward as far as, they did have an offer, but it was withdrawn within the natural period of time, so they obviously have looked into it on this benzene and frightened them away.
All in favor of receiving that? Carried. That the minutes from the Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance Board meeting held on September 11th be received. Move over to that, please.
I'll move.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Snobes isn't here tonight. I think the minutes are fairly clear. They are still working towards the one pass system. I believe there was a bill a couple of weeks ago brought forward from the province to try and speed that up. All in favor? Carried. The Hastings County Council report of October 2025 be received.
Move.
Second.
All in favor? 8.9, the news from the Community Archives, November 2025 be received. Move it from that, please.
I'll move.
Second.
Favor? Are there any notices of motion at this time? And I need a motion to go into closed.
Move.
Second.
Move it. Second.